Okay. This is Calicat the Calicaster, and this is a review of Lord X episode, the penultimate episode of Lord X. The one with Harry Kim in it, and Garak and Bashir, and doing the Picard LaForge DS9 Garak and Bashir KS slash, and Silly Shrek and the other universe and everything. Yeah, these guys are obviously aware of our stuff. It's not possible they couldn't be. I keep saying that, but yes. Well, this episode is a Silly Trek episode. It's a straight up multiversal Silly Trek spoof of Marvel. We have our main characters going, wondering about the other universe and the other Boimler transporter double from seasons ago. Wondering what happened to him because he went through the quantum universe. And so then they flash back to over that other universe. And we get to see the other end of what's going on with the spoiler alert, I guess. But yes, this episode has it's a love letter to all the Star Trek, and done well. There's even a character who in the story, I won't give away everybody, but there's a character in the story that clearly is copying Steve Shives from the internet. The guy who's like complaining about all the member berries. This episode would either drive him crazy or amuse him at the same time, because it would be like, oh, it's him. It's basically him. The universe. And Garrett Wong is basically playing a version of him. We have a Curzon Dax Odolite guy that we have a T'Pol. In her universe, she's been married to Trip Tucker, which for 65 years, I guess he died, but died of old age in that universe. He was not killed at the end of Enterprise. That fixes that. That's how to do the member berry. Says you have to have another quantum reality where that stuff didn't happen. And Shives didn't like the memory wall Otoy special because of all the CGI, but in this case, this is how to do it. You just have, okay, this is it's a quantum, they set it up so the whole season has been a multiverse. So when they see these other versions of themselves and the fish guys and all that, I think that's a reference to Animated Trek, the earlier one. There's so many gags in this, it's amazing. And clearly although they didn't quite go in the direction of O'Brien, Kiriyoshi O'Brien is Kyrus. They didn't address that in this version. They went for the Garak part from about over a year and a half ago, where Garak and Bashir were lovers in that other timeline, and they just took that whole cloth and put it in this episode, and that is amazing. That is hilarious. Like, yeah, Garak kind of was. And Andrew Robinson is back. He's a cameo in there. Garrett Wong is back. He's came in there. The Julian Bashir is a hologram. It's a holographic doctor in the spoof. So it's not technically him. It's his hologram, which is Dax wants to apparently fight everybody until he dies. There is a touching moment with the Dax symbiote and T'Pol. At the end, they're good friends. They're sniping at each other, but they're good friends. There's a lot of reconciliation of the fandom between the animation Star Trek and the other Star Treks and the multiverse, and kind of explaining where the Kelvinverse stories like this fit. It's not necessarily Prime. So it's all there's multi-thing. Marvel's been doing that for years, and Transformers has been doing that for years. So Star Trek addresses that as well. So you could conceivably have that. Even that Section 31 series, that's meant to take place in a universe where they're more edgy and dark, and Earth isn't like Earth, but it's a different Earth, and that's fine. It's not Starfleet, it's some other timeline where they're edgier. That's fine, as long as it's that. And there was some of on the set of the Christmas play thing discussing briefly the Section 31 trailer. That was just another Star Trek story, and going like, yeah, this is going to be like this. It's going to be cool. If it's in another universe, if it's a mirror universe, Prince guy, and someone else there, the guy, Scott and They were all like, yeah. It's weird. Like that Guardian of Forever episode of Discovery, that guy was acting like Brian Story. Yeah, he was. It wasn't him, but it totally was playing his character from the Babylon 5 story that they threw in there. Guardian. Because, yeah. He's the guy. But yeah, in this story, though, they have to go to the multiverse. They figure out who's doing the multiversal jumping. And it's actually a crew of people from the time of Captain Archer. And they're led by Lily Sloan, who has somehow lived 100 more years and is just, I guess, 110 or something. And she's flying around in an ancient vulcanized ship that they rebuilt. It's a silly Trek ship with a nod to the soliton waves and stuff like that, and a nod to the Cillian drives and all that. We've got Garak was secretly like a badass, and he's a doctor now on the ship. The Defiant-like ship is a nod to the Edgy from Starship Location Season 1 in the 90s. The only way that works is that they're aware of our stuff going way back. They went through Starship Locations and they were like, oh, we like this Defiant ship where they're all kind of angry at each other and going back and forth, and we can't have Odo because he's gone. Actually, they could have Odo. They could have made that guy Odo, but they made him Curzon Dax, which is fine. Because he was Odo in the Cillian version. And it was just Odo, and it was DS9. It was Deep Space Nine, but darker. Mirror universe kind of thing. With the Edgy, which was the Defiant command about the ship. So yeah. But I don't think necessarily they were directly referencing us. I think they were directing stuff like us. The Steve Shives guy, though, is clearly him. There's a Trek Guards guy in there, too. Yeah, Hawkins and the other guy are in there, too. So, in some form or another on the other ship. The Harry Kim's deciding that they're going to destroy stuff. It has nothing to do with Locarno. It's Harry Kim. And the ensign thing and the whole thing. It's just all over the place, and I loved it. And yeah, so it was great. And it's set up for a sequel where they're going to accidentally destroy the universe. That's right out of Silly Trek, Starship Locations. They're aware of our stuff, and for some reason, even though we're still doing Legacy, they're doing a new season and a new show, Canary Space, right after the Legacy episode. Actually, Canary Space will premiere at the same time as the Legacy episode. We'll put those together. So the new season begins for both, the new pilot, new adventures, and our stuff there as well. And so that's cool. So awesome deal. And so not only the Canary Space and Vanguard's 2 new series, 2 new pilots. We have Legacy season. Is it 4 or is it 3? 3 or 4? I think it's. Is it 3? It might be 3. I think it's 3. I think it's season 3. It begins as well, and written by somebody that did some of the Edgy stories. Oh, the newer ones, the Fantana and Clerks, right? Which is just awesome. Before the pandemic, there were a bunch of episodes written. Find them in the Fontana and Clerks chapter of the storybooks and read those. Yeah, back when Cal Cat was dating Rumbly. Before the pandemic. Yeah, you can read those stories and go like, oh yeah, that's what's going on. Yeah. So it's not a one-to-one comparison with what they went on their adventure or what she went on her adventure. I wasn't there when that happened. I just heard about it secondhand after the fact. Well, from her. And there was a big thing, and then they were all like, oh yeah, do this as a Star Trek, but change everything. Don't make it me and my sister and mother. And make it some other people from your show doing the same thing. Yeah. I was like, okay. That makes sense. Mark's cards also said that. So, yeah, we were all in agreement, so it was all good. Also, Canary Space is done. I just had to put the special effects in. It's practically done. So we're going to go and do the other one. Now we're going to do the other one. We have the other one ready to go. And put all the special effects in for both premieres. And it's only December 12th. December 12th, we will release them all before Christmas. 2 pilots. Ooh, let's see what happens. Because we love those 90-minute 2-part episode things. We just love those. But yes, lower decks. So lower decks is ending, but ours is immediately afterward. So go over the Chimera channel and watch the other two and go like, oh, okay, they're continuing some new and kind of different stuff. Actually found a way around the multiverse, of course, and also found a way around the Earth Klingon Second Civil War thing that happens in Star Trek Online, STO. Found a way around that by avoiding it, by starting the story a little later, avoiding it. Yes, and yes, our characters. But that's different. That's different. So that's different. So it's time to end this review before I start talking about other stuff that has nothing to do with the review. Penultimate episode. Our crew discovers that there's something weird going on in verse. He freaks out at the end. It's great. Mariner is the chief engineer, consistent with the other timelines. Boimler is the captain in that universe. They address the incidents and things. And it doesn't matter if their ages don't match up, because Sloane is in it, and T'Pol's in it, and other one's in it. Because it's silly Trek. It's the silly Trek idea. All of their universes kind of converge, like they did in the convention story, in the memory wall of the convention, in that episode, where no one dared go before, where they can all interact now in 2024, and in all of the other universes, because the actors who are still around are there. The ones that were holographically recreated are also around. They were there. Which I guess that's what Steve Shives was mad about. So, like, why did they have to recreate them? Why can't they just have the actor play the actor and just have them say it's them? Do we need, like, CGI and makeup to do their faces different? Yeah, I kind of agree with some of that on the Otoy thing, but I also agree, yeah, there's a certain fan base out there from in the Trek web period, before Trek Yards and before Trek Core, who was like, no, we really, really wanted Generations to be like a continuation and Kirk to return at some point, because it didn't really gel. So sure, he's in a quantum universe anyway, so he's kind of a Kirk god from Chimera at this point. So, yeah. He kind of is. At the end of that story, he's taken up by the demigods into their space Cillian realm. The story is a silly Trek episode too. Oh, toys. That's why he was confused. Well, I didn't write it, but they were clearly inspired by our fan stuff. Yes, they should just call us. Paramount, CBS, call us. We're still around. We'll come back and we will write stuff. Of course, they have an Enterprise. Yeah, but we do not discuss A Night in Sick Bay. Anyway.